Barnstable police are giving back to the community with a blood drive. C Street in Hyannis will soon be getting an upgrade, and we take a look at the proposed medical marijuana overlay district. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, January 29th, 2014. I'm Sarah Mantle. Plans for improving C Street in Hyannis are moving forward. A third visioning session for streetscape improvements will take place on February 4th. An initial concept plan for the streetscape has been developed based on previous discussions and will be presented at the meeting. The C Street neighborhood is encouraged to attend and provide review and comment for finalizing the plan. The meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 4th in the Shepley Room at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center from 7 to 9. The Barnstable Police Department is helping Cape Cod Healthcare with its effort to increase blood donations on Cape Cod. The department hosted a blood drive yesterday. Blood drive coordinator Diane Pratt says community involvement like this is so important for their effort.
Right now, we are starting to increase our existing blood drives, so we're trying to schedule 3 to 4 a week. Up to this point, we've been about 35 to 37% self-sufficient with our blood supply, and when we run out of blood, we have to get more blood, which is very costly to the Cape Cod Healthcare. All of the blood that is donated to us stays here on Cape Cod, and it saves the lives of our family, friends, and neighbors.
Pratt says the drive was enormously successful.
We've already seen probably 15 people, and we've only been here for an hour and a half, so this has been a phenomenal drive, and I'm so thankful to Donna Silva and to the entire town of Barnstable and the police department especially.
Pratt says the best thing about her job is seeing community members come together to help each other.
It's so heartwarming. I mean, because you know that 1 pint of blood can save up to 3 lives. And as I said, all the blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays here, and it's only used between Cape Cod Hospital and Falmouth Hospital. And so when people hear that, I think it's just, really the glue that brings Cape Cod out to help each other.
And the police force was out to help as well. Patrol officer Gretchen Allen took time out of her day to donate blood.
Well, I live and work on Cape Cod, and God forbid if anything ever happened, then I would want there to be plenty of blood for someone, including myself. And it's the right thing to do.
Craig Tamish, Deputy Chief of Barnstable Police, says when Cape Cod Healthcare approached them about the drive, it was not a tough decision to make.
Well, the need is there. As they say, the blood that's donated here stays here. There's obviously a great need. They approached us about it, and we agreed.
Tamish says he decided to donate blood as well after learning about a patient in Boston who couldn't have surgery because of a blood shortage.
There was just recently a case up in Boston, I don't know if you remember that, with a little girl that her surgery was put off. She had some life-threatening surgery that they just had no available blood of her type to do the surgery, and it had to be postponed. And, if you think about that, the need is great.
To learn more about how you can donate blood, you can visit capecodhealthcare.org. A medical marijuana overlay district is proposed for the town of Barnstable. The district is located along the east side of Route 132, as well as in the industrial zone near Addicks Way. Barnstable this morning host Sarah Colvin sat down with Director of Growth Management Joanne Miller-Buntich to learn more about the proposed district. We share a portion of that interview with you now.
There is a moratorium in place currently on the establishment of medical marijuana treatment centers. Talk to me a little bit about why that is in place.
Well, I like to compare this to years ago when we first started permitting cell towers. No land use, no zoning regulations contemplated cell towers. It was a new technology. And so Mass General Law, Chapter 48 zoning laws, and most of them across the country, but of course we only deal with Massachusetts, is very specific. If you don't call out uses as being regulated, then they're not regulated and they go wherever they want. So that was the case with marijuana, medical marijuana uses. And so working with the town attorney's office, it was determined that a moratorium would serve our purposes best. So during the moratorium, nobody can establish those new uses, even though we don't have provisions for them. And purpose of a moratorium is to study the issue and determine how best you're going to address it. And so to that end, actually, there is a study which is now posted on the town's webpage,
Yes.
medical marijuana moratorium study or something of that nature. You won't miss it. It's the only place where the word marijuana appears on the homepage. If folks are interested in it, it lists a lot of sources. It explains the process that we engaged in during the study, and working with the planning board, we ended up with a result.
Exactly, and now, of course, ready to move forward on some public hearings regarding the proposed zoning for medical marijuana. I remember way back in the beginning, you were thinking about the east end of Main Street in the medical district, but that was met with some opposition. People had concerns, so you've changed it, and you've brought with you a zoning map of the town of Barnstable. So maybe we can show that to people to kind of see, get a lay of the land, if you will.
We did start out around the hospital area, and in meeting with the hospital folks, they had some reservations about that. And so this is part of the town of Barnstable, and so I don't know how well. We have close-ups that you'll see shortly, too. And so 2 areas were chosen for this land use. One area is along Iono Road, or Route 28, from the Yarmouth Town line to Yarmouth Road, and sort of just the properties just immediately abutting that road. And the other area is up off Independence Drive in this location. So there's the light, the Cape Cod Mall is over here, just for as a way to orient yourself. And those locations were chosen based on the information we received about how people felt they should be located, what they should be near and what they should not be near. Also from extensive interviews with potential proponents about what their needs were in terms of building type and location. And always in the town of Barnstable, we look at things regionally as a regional service provider. And actually the State Department of Health regulations sort of underscore that by limiting the number of uses that will happen per county in this first year. So we wanted to address that too. So they're along easy access, easy public transportation on major transportation corridors. So
exactly.
That was the location analysis that we did, and this is where we ended up.
Great. So let's take a kind of a closer look. I know we've got a close-up of the Route 28 Iono Road area, and that again, kind of right by the border of the town of Yarmouth, and you can see on your screen the yellow zone is the proposed zone for that particular area. So again, and this would be for people who maybe want to occupy some open space here. I mean, there's obviously a large process that people have to go through with the state to be able to get licensed and before they can open up. It's not just like any Joe Schmo can say I'm going to have a marijuana dispensary in the town of Barnstable. It's costly, and there's a lot of things that have to go forward. Is there going to be some regulatory needs that people will have to go through the town in order to set up shop here?
Yes, one of the things we were really careful and thoughtful about doing was that we didn't want to duplicate anything that the state was already doing in terms of certification and investigation, all of those things. So all we did was say in the ordinance, whatever you've given the state has to be part of your application package. So we get the opportunity to review that. We did it sort of succinctly. And so we have really site issues there about access and how the buildings are addressed in terms of typical site plan reviews, access, egress, emergency, and those kinds of things. And looking at the 3 components of the uses that can happen. One is sort of the retail component, which is it's still called the Medical Marijuana Treatment Center, or a registered marijuana dispensary now. The cultivation aspect, which requires a large enclosed locked facility. And then some of the proponents will be manufacturing marijuana-infused products. So it's just tinctures and aerosols. There's a whole list of them in the rules. And what we heard from the proponents was that would take place probably in the cultivation facility. So given those...
A public hearing on the proposed zoning amendment will take place Thursday, February 6th. It is a joint hearing with the Town Council and the Planning Board. Anyone wishing to learn more or comment on the overlay district are invited to attend. More details can be found online at town.barnstable.ma.us. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.